Hello and welcome to the best Transformers game ever made. And that is Transformers Fall of Cybertron. And to get right into it, I think it has the best and overall great and interesting story that it has. Because you get to see how Cybertron falls, a bit of, the origin of how Optimus became a Prime, and how crazy and a total nut job Megatron is. And besides that, in my opinion, it also has the peak, awesome, and very cool designs of both Decepticons and Autobots. And of course, Insecticons and Dinobots and so on and so forth. The designs are just so cool and awesome. Like, they look menacing, they look just perfect and just right. And because, it's Cybertronian, not Earth based vehicles like we see most of the time. So it's something fresh. Even though the game is a bit old, it still feels fresh, playing as the characters. And also one of the other very much strong points, kinda budgeted there, but whatever, is the soundtrack. The soundtrack just gives off that tense vibe, like chaotic as well, and the soundtrack, it's also energetic, and it fits both like factions, like both Autobots and Decepticons. It doesn't have a well, they don't have their own soundtrack. It goes for both factions, and that's also what I like. It's also not what you well hear every every time. So I think that's pretty neat as well. And of course, it's an older game, but it still holds up graphically pretty well. There's also like mods that upscale it, so that's also pretty good. And of course, one of the most important thing is the combat mechanics. It's it's simple, it feels responsive, and it feels just overall good. And modern, I guess. It just feels good, especially for a Transformer game. So, like, the weapons feel punchy, and it just feels right. And what I like more than of Cybertron is this time you can run and drive faster, which gives the game, speeds up the game a bit more. Gives you also a bit more freedom to run around and stuff. So that's also pretty neat. And of course, next to the character designs, they also have their own role. Like they have every mission, each one of them has their own objective, and sometimes, well, every mission you switch between those roles and characters, which is also neat because then you get to experience the character, how it plays, what their weaponry is, their vehicle mode, and just overall their play and feel. And it just makes them shine and pop out more, in my opinion. And I think that's just a good choice. And not only do they have their own role that matters, like destroying a bridge or killing Autobots or helping with the objectives, they also have good voice acting, like emotion, talent, and stuff, which is also like nice to see in a game. And like what I really love about this game, and of course War for Cybertron, is every mission is unique. Like I said, different characters with different vehicle forms, like a jet, helicopter, uh, tank, a truck like Optimus Prime, or just a speed car like a Porsche, like Jazz. And they have their own unique playstyle. Like, of course, air vehicles. They have like missiles you can shoot at the Autobots or Decepticons. And Jazz has his grappling hook, so stuff like that. It's pretty cool to see. And in my opinion, this game is just an action-packed and very interesting story and game. You can see how Cybertron fell and just how it looks. Like the depiction of it, it's very good. And the game also looks quite detailed for an older game. Quite detailed actually, like the ammo, missiles, everything really. Of course, that's not look perfect, but it, I think it's close to looking perfect. Looks great. And talking about characters and how to play and stuff, I would like to talk about my favorite characters. And of course, the first is Optimus Prime. You know, why? Because he is a noble and empathetic and respectable leader that always cares about his allies like Ratchet and Bumblebee, and always sacrifice himself if he has to. Like he does everything to save the Autobots and get them to safety, and just make sure that they survive. You know. And besides him, another very cool character and good-looking one, if I say so. Sounds wrong, but I don't mean it like that, is Jazz. Because he has good voice acting, a very cool design, like a Porsche, and that alone makes it one of my favorite. Because, you know, Porsche cool car, cool vehicle form, nice color scheme, and like Optimus Prime, just very good voice acting. And now on the other side, the Decepticons is Megatron, the big bad guy. The big bad guy. And he's just, in these games, like the Cybertron games, he's just crazy. I want to say bloodthirsty, so I'm just gonna say that bloodthirsty and just seeks chaos, and he just does not give up at all. He keeps going until all of the Autobots are destroyed and Cybertron is his to rule. And that he just shoots one of his own guys. It really shows how evil he is, basically. And his design is also like peak, because it gives like that hostile, dangerous, evil kind of vibe and look. It's just, it's one of the best Megatron designs I've ever seen. So there's that. And well, the next characters are the Combaticons. Why? Because they're very interesting. Because they transform together into Bruticus, and it's just very cool to see. I wish he had more weaponry, Bruticus himself, but it is what it is. Like you see him on the screen there, just mean and just looks hostile, and it's just very cool to play as. This it's just sick. And in this mission, the final fight, which you can see later, is just intense, engaging, with an epic, intense soundtrack in the background. When you play as both sides, and you can, at the really final fight, like the final sequence, you can choose between Optimus or Megatron, and try to defeat the other in a awesome and cool, intense final boss fight. I'm gonna say this is a boss fight. Sure, it could have been better, better movement, more moves, bigger area, but for what it is, it's pretty good, and it just makes the fight more epic. And about the ending, it's just one big cliffhanger. Like, and no, we're not gonna count the Rise of the Dark Spark. That game is just ass. Let's not talk about it. Let's just say this game is the last of the two. There's no third. But yeah, it ends on a cliffhanger, and it leaves you wondering what happened to them. In my eyes, I would, kind of attach it to Transformers Prime, like the show, but it would not make sense since Bumblebee dies and stuff. But it kind of connects at some points. So, and yeah, besides the characters, there's also enemy variety. That's also pretty important to me. You know, not fighting, not constantly fighting the same enemies and stuff. So that's also nice to see. You got like the usual with neutron assault rifles. You got snipers. You got insecticons. Um, Juggernauts. The ones with miniguns. You also got the version with shields, and it's just it's just good to see. And it's just so action packed. This game, like there's a lot of enemies every mission, and every mission is just at least takes 7 hours. So you do get your time worth it. It's definitely worth playing through it if you got it. It's just overall a great looking, feeling game. Plays great, feels great, like I said, and it just looks very cool. And it's just an interesting story how the developing of Optimus Prime and Megatron, and the side characters like Jazz, and how Bumblebee sadly died. I wish they explained how he lost his voice, but you know, it's whatever. And yeah, overall, it's just a great game. It's definitely a breath of fresh air after playing modern games. It's something different, and in my opinion, it just has that talent, that soul, and you can really see it if you play through it or watch YouTube videos about it, like the whole playthrough. And one of my favorite missions is, of course, the final mission, as you can see here. Why? Because you switch from Autobots to Decepticons multiple times, and you get to use every gadget and, well, talent that every character has. So that's also just neat to see, in my opinion. And overall, like I said, I think this is the most loved Transformer game as well, because it's just an awesome game, and it's just a perfect ending to the game itself. And as you might hear, I might like yap about that part of the game and that part of the game. I don't know. I don't know where to, start with some stuff. It's just an awesome game, and I know I repeat stuff multiple times, but hey, it's just a cool game, and especially the details as well. Like the oh yeah, here, that's a good point. The detail in the characters, like the battle scars and the damage of all the eons of fighting each other. It's just a nice detail to see. Like the attention to detail is also great to this game. Also the smoke looks realistic and the fire is just a cool game. And I just love playing as well, any character really. And that does make me want to say Grimlock, because I haven't talked about Grimlock, because he has a good role. He makes sure that the Decepticons, well, Shockwave, and his, well, portal thingy gets destroyed. He has an important role, even though it's later in the game. And besides Grimlock, it's funny to see Starscream well, fail to fight Megatron. Like, where Megatron just gets resurrected by Soundwave, and it just stops Starscream from being the new leader of the Decepticons. He just says, "Piss off! This is my faction," and just he's back stronger than ever. And I like his new look. I like Megatron's new look, like the purple, dark energon that glows in his armor. He looks bigger and more, well, beefier and more menacing, in my opinion. Same goes for Optimus. He really looks like Prime now. Even though, like, War for Cybertron, Optimus Prime also looks very great. Though I just a bit prefer this look. It's more, well, more my style. And like I said, the final fight is just great to see and play, especially when you wanna, see how it ends for both sides. Like the replayability is also there for the campaign. For instance, if you wanna use different weapons or different playstyle, or if you want to play it on harder difficulty. And it's just an awesome game. And yeah, and besides all of the points I just said, there's a thing I cannot forget: the atmosphere. It just it fits the game so well. Like we are, well, as Autobots, the atmosphere is like, we have to get the Energon for the Ark and get out of here and defeat the Decepticons if necessary. And the Decepticons just easy. It's like, well, after Autobots, we have to destroy them all and rule over Cybertron and destroy the Ark and prevent them from escaping. And the atmosphere is also like, destroyed Cybertron with fire, debris, and just a chaotic war between the Autobots and Decepticons. It's also just a good vibe actually. Of course, it's about war, but it has a good vibe. And of course the unique level design. Like I said, new character, new role, new objective. It keeps the game fresh. And it's uh, different anytime. I know I struggle a bit to speak out my words, but normally I don't really do voiceovers. It's different for me, but whatever. To get back into it, I also love that it focuses on the side characters, apart from the main characters. To know how they are, how they act, and how much loyalty they have towards Megatron, or how much respect they have for Optimus Prime. And now the last part of the video, the, well, boss fights or boss-ish types of fights. So yeah, let's head into that. And let's start with the first real boss fight. Starscream as Megatron. Well, it's not really a boss fight, but it kinda is. Because you just have to, destroy every Decepticon that doesn't believe in you. It's quite a bit difficult, if I may say so myself. And at the end, you just shut Starscream up and he flees like a coward, like he is. And that's the first real boss fight. But if you want to talk like actual boss fight, that's gonna be Hardshell. Where you play as Grimlock, escaping Shockwave's prison, fighting your mates like Swoop and the others. And Hardshell's the first boss fight in that mission you're gonna get. And he's a bit annoying, but hey, still good enough to beat. And after that, in the middle of the mission, you get another Insecticon, and that's Kickback. And he just throws Insecticons at you. It's a chaotic fight. And I think that's also the first time where Grimlock transforms into his dinosaur form, with like fire breathing and stomping out. It's pretty cool. And then lastly, Sharp Shot near the end of the mission, where it's like you have to save one of your guys. Sorry, I forgot the name, but and you have to like disarm the machine that kills him. And at the end, just Sharp Shot. You just shut him up as the big dinosaur. And after endless waves of Insecticons, it's, like I said, chaotic, and that's what I love about this game. And one of the last is Bruticus. You're Jazz, you have to fight off Bruticus. It's easier than the other boss fights or big set pieces. But hey, it's still a good set piece nonetheless. It's interesting, it's cool, and of course the greatest boss fight in this game. It's between Megatron and Optimus Prime. You can choose as which you want to play as, and just to try to defeat the other. It's also pretty much an easy boss fight and final fight, but it's interesting, it's cool, you can play as both sides, and it's just aggressive to see each other just, destroying each other basically. And before I finish the video, I forgot one of the most important characters of this game, and that is Metroplex. I know, I'm late to this, I kinda forgot about him. It's bad. But hey, I want to talk about Metroplex. He is more menacing, more aggressive, and overall just cooler, in my opinion, than Omega Supreme. And he's kind of way bigger. And it's also like a cooler design, like more futuristic and more clean, in my opinion. And if it wasn't for him, the Ark would not have left Cybertron. He's also the one that smashed Cybertron, Megatron into pieces before he got revived by Soundwave. And just a peak game. This game is just peak, especially for its time. And I think that was it. I hope all of you enjoyed the video, and I wish all of you a great day. See you awesome viewers at the next video. Goodbye.